Grace was born in a small village in Nigeria. Her early years were filled with love. Her mother was her rock. She supported Grace in everything she did. Grace's mother worked hard every day. She wanted Grace to have a bright future.
My mother always told me I could be anything I wanted to be.
However, when Grace was just 12, tragedy struck. Her mother died of COVID-19. This loss shattered Grace's world.
I felt like my whole world had collapsed.
Her father remarried soon after. Her new stepmother was cruel. She made Grace do all the household chores. Grace's schoolwork suffered.
Grace, you useless girl. Can't you do anything right?
The stepmother was not just mean. She was abusive. She often blamed Grace for things she didn't do. Grace felt alone and hopeless.
I missed my mother dearly. I cried myself to sleep many nights.
But deep inside, she held on to a glimmer of hope. She knew she had to be strong. Grace's father changed after her mother died. He became distant and uncaring. He started drinking heavily. When drunk, he often lashed out at Grace. He blamed her for his misfortunes.
It's all your fault, Grace. Everything bad that happens is because of you.
Grace tried to stay out of his way, but it was hard. Her father's behavior created a tense environment at home. It was a place filled with fear. Grace's stepmother encouraged his drinking. She too had no love for Grace. This made Grace's life even more difficult. She felt trapped.
I felt like I was living in a nightmare that I couldn't wake up from.
Grace's father would sometimes promise to change, but it never lasted. He soon returned to his old ways. He neglected his responsibilities. Grace's education was no longer a priority. Her dreams seemed even further out of reach.
I knew I had to find a way out.
Despite all this, Grace remained determined. She found solace in books. Reading became her escape. It was her way of holding on to hope. She knew that education was her key to a better life.
Books were my sanctuary. They gave me hope.
Grace's resilience was remarkable. She knew she had to find a way to change her life. When Grace turned 15, things took a turn for the worse. Her father's drinking became unbearable. Her stepmother's cruelty intensified. One day, after a particularly brutal beating, Grace decided to leave. She ran away from home with just the clothes on her back.
I couldn't take it anymore. I had to leave.
Living on the streets was a harsh reality. Grace faced many dangers. She struggled to find food and shelter. The nights were cold and lonely. She missed the safety of her home despite its hardships, but she knew she could never go back.
I knew I could never go back, no matter how hard it was.
Grace faced further trauma on the streets. She was molested by strangers. These experiences left her scarred, but she refused to let them define her. She found strength in her darkest moments.
I had to survive. I couldn't let them break me.
Grace often wondered if she would ever escape this life. She felt a burning desire to change her circumstances.
I knew I was meant for more. I just had to keep going.
One day, Grace found an old smartphone in the trash. It was a lifeline. She used it to connect to the internet. She discovered social media. She saw how people shared their stories and found support. It gave her an idea.
I decided to share my own story. I wrote about my mother's death, my stepmother's cruelty, and my father's neglect. I described my life on the streets. I poured my heart out.
Her story quickly gained attention. People from all over the world read her posts. They were moved by her bravery. Offers of help started pouring in. One of her posts caught the eye of a non-profit organization. With the help of the non-profit, Grace moved to the United States. It was a dream come true. She was given the opportunity to go back to school. She worked hard, determined to make the most of this second chance. Her resilience paid off.
I excelled in my studies. I graduated at the top of my class. I received a scholarship to a prestigious university. There, I studied international relations. I wanted to help others like me. I wanted to make a difference.
Grace's achievements didn't stop there. She became involved in various advocacy groups. She shared her story at conferences and events. She inspired many with her resilience. She showed that no matter how hard life gets, there is always hope. Grace didn't forget her roots. She often visited her village. She started a foundation to help children in similar situations. She provided them with education and support. Today, at 25, Grace is a beacon of hope. She speaks on global platforms. She shares her story to inspire others. She wants to show young African girls that they can overcome any obstacle. She believes in the power of resilience and determination.
My message is simple but powerful. I tell my audience to never give up. I encourage them to believe in themselves. I remind them that they are stronger than they think.
Her words resonate with many. She has become a role model for countless girls. Grace's journey is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. She faced unimaginable hardships, but she never lost hope. She turned her pain into power. She transformed her life and now helps others do the same. Grace's story continues to inspire people around the world. She is proof that no matter where you start, you can achieve greatness. Her life is a shining example of resilience, courage, and hope. She is a true inspiration to all. If you found Grace's story inspiring, please like and subscribe for more uplifting content.